Recently, Sweetwater asked me if I wanted to help them give away a pedal board. And not just some empty pedal board full of nothing, with no pedal boards or patch cables or power supply. I'm talking about a pedal board completely packed to the gills, fully saturated with Matthews Effects pedals. So of course I said yes, because I love you guys and I want you to have nice things. And this is definitely a collection of some very nice things. So let's take a look at what we have here. We've got the broker at the front of the chain. This is a tube screamer and a blues breaker in the same box, and you can switch their orders by holding down both foot switches. Easy peasy. Then you've got the Whaler version 2, a heavy, nasty, gated, ridiculous fuzz that I honestly can't believe I don't personally own. I don't have one of these in my collection, and every time I get to try one, I'm like, oh, that's a fuzz. And then next, we've got the Surgeon, a delay supercomputer with all kinds of MIDI capabilities. I'm actually controlling it with the Futurist, which is a MIDI controlling box, which can do just ridiculous, amazing, nitty-gritty MIDI things that I can't fully wrap my head around. I had to get on the phone with Rick Matthews to figure out how to wire it up and connect it to this, because I am not native to MIDI. But once I got it figured out, once he helped me out, I was like, okay, this is making sense. I could see how I could build an entire ridiculous preset saturated rig around this thing now. But yeah, the Surgeon, tons of fun sounds here. The Futurist, crazy MIDI options. Then we've got the Cosmonaut version 2. This is a personal favorite of mine. I have one of these in my personal collection. I've had it for a long time. I'm going to show you why I love this thing so much, and then you're going to be really bummed out to find out that, as far as I'm aware, these are discontinued. There's none currently available. Maybe they'll bring the line back. Maybe if enough people scream and cry and moan in the comments, Matthews Effects will start making these again and get them over to Sweetwater so you can buy them. But this has a really fun trick that I can't wait to show you guys. And then the Traveler, a reverb pedal that I recently demoed. It is a 3-algorithm reverb pedal with modulation, shimmer, and a vintage setting. It also has MIDI control. I didn't go to the trouble of figuring out how to connect that one up because I spent enough time figuring out the Surgeon. And it doesn't stop there. It's not just pedals on a pedal board. You've got a really great power supply down here. The SOOOOOOOOOO, the Chocks, I'm never quite sure how to pronounce their name. I probably should have figured that out. But the SOOOOOOOOO or Chocks DC7, all sorts of different options here with these little dip switches to dial in however much power you need for your pedals. It's got the great big IEC plug there, which I really like to have with my power supplies. It makes it easy to pack them in and out. Oh, also, you've got a D'Addario Expand pedal board, a personal favorite of mine. I personally own 2 of these pedal boards, the bigger one and this same size, and they're just fantastic. What a brilliant design, so convenient. There's a little tab here and you can expand or contract the pedal board to be however long or short you need it to be. You want, 4 pedals on your pedal board, but then sometimes you're like, yeah, I want to experiment with 2 more. You just expand it out and throw them on there. It's so convenient. So all of this can be yours. I'll tell you how to win it at the end of the video because I need that watch time, guys. Stay tuned, keep watching. I'm gonna show off how they all sound. I'm going to use my Fender Player Plus strap because it gives me a lot of options. Humbucker at the bridge, noiseless singles, and of course a really long wiggle stick sent by a viewer that I absolutely love. And of course, I'll be running into the 2 Princeton's rig. That's enough of that. We got a lot of ground to cover here. There's the bridge pickup. Let's check out the different settings of the broker. That is the 2 screamer style circuit. Switch over to, what have I done? Oh, the volume was down. Switch over to the blues breaker. Back to the two screamer. And then both at the same time. Despite my sloppy playing, a classic sounding pedal with two classic circuits in it with some really fun modern options. You can mix and match those drives in opposite arrangements. What kind of words am I trying to find here? You can swap the order of the circuits. On the fly, you've got volume, tone, and gain for each circuit. It's a no-brainer. If you're shopping for a tube screamer, why not get one with a blues breaker attached? If you're shopping for a blues breaker, why not get one with a tube screamer attached and a single sized? Right? It's a no-brainer. Next up, the Whaler version 2. Here we go. Let's get heavy. I've been playing around with that White Zombie riff. It's just fun. That's ridiculous. Super versatile, heavy duty, tone shaping, dial in whatever sound you want style fuzz here. That squish is great. It's kind of like this compressor that's like kind of dialing in and pulling back the spikes and making it tighter, and you pull it back to the left to get wide open and crazy. The tone combined with the body control gives you a lot of different options. It's great. It's a great fuzz. Let's get into the Surgeon now. Here we go. I've been in tap tempo. I don't want to be in tap tempo. I want to start with the first preset. There are 4 lights here, and then there are 4 more presets here. You can actually store so many, just so many presets in this thing. If you're familiar with MIDI at all, you know what I'm talking about. You can just load this thing up with all sorts of different options and ways to control pedals like this. You can actually, Rick was telling me you can control 16 pedals at the same time with just this. How does that work? It's magic. I don't know how any of that works. So obviously, there's a lot of ground to cover with the Surgeon. It is a delay supercomputer. There is a lot going on here, but let's go through the basics. You've got a dose control, which is your mix, regen, which is your repeat count, pulse, which is your time, subdivision selection here, a modifier knob for modifying different settings for each different mode. There are 8 different modes on here, 8 different algorithms. You have 2 different EQ algorithms, 2 different modulation algorithms, 2 different auto filter algorithms, and 2 different dual reverb algorithms. And I've made custom presets for all of them, which I'm gonna demonstrate now. A really fun thing is, yeah, you can store 4 presets from the face of this, but then you can use MIDI controllers like the Futurist here to get into all the rest. You can probably store like hundreds, or at least more than I can count. Into the pedal and then access them with the Futurist or other MIDI controllers. It's way too much. I took a very shallow dip into MIDI setting up this board, and I can't believe how many options there are. It is absolutely ridiculous. So the first preset I have here, which only you will have, only the winner of this pedal board will have my custom presets that I've made for this pedal. The first preset is the EQ with low pass. So you can hear each repeat bleeds off high frequencies, getting darker and darker, kind of giving you a representation of an analog delay sort of sound. But I have this preset set up with a ramp where if I hold down the bypass switch, it's going to pull back that low pass filter, and you're gonna get bright repeats, and the repeats are gonna go to maximum amount of repeats for like some really fun, like ambient sorts of like never ending, set ending sounds. And then it fades out with that low pass filter. On to the next preset. This is with a high pass filter, but I made it do something different with that ramping expression. You know me, you know that I like the wacky sounds. Use that on every song in your set. Your band won't hate it at all. It'll work. On to the third preset. This is one of the modulation presets. Pretty sure this maxes out the depth Oh, it's the speed. This one controls the speed, and it maxes out the repeats as well. Because why not? Why wouldn't you do that? And then on to the depth controlling preset on here. Let's hear it with the fuzz. To those extra 4 settings. Here we are on number 6. This is the auto filter with rate control on that expression, that ramping expression. Number 5, this is auto filter with depth control. I'm gonna use that fuzz again. So there's a subtle amount of that auto filter on the repeats until you hold down for that ramping option, and then it just takes off to give you this nice big swoop right when you need it. Which is all the time, always on, right? Going on to the synced delay. This is a dual delay where both repeats are synced as a tap tempo, which you have tap tempo on this, by the way. Another reason to use something like the Futurist. There we go. Now we have tap tempo. So I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was like a quarter note and a dotted eighth chasing it. But then for the option, I think I have the main delay shift from a quarter note and go up to a regular eighth. So you go from a quarter and a dotted eighth to an eighth and a dotted eighth. There you go. It's a subtle little thing, but it was something I was experimenting with. It's hard to demonstrate using your hands. And then the last preset I have on here, the unsynced dual delay. This is where the second delay isn't set to a tap tempo. So of course I went a little wacky with this one. Not as wacky as that number 2 setting, but it gives you a fun little time-bending chirp. just in the background a little bit. Something like very fun and musical about that. Moving on, you're gonna have to go watch videos, go read the manual, go look at everything that this can do, because it can do a lot. You've got MIDI ins and outs, you have a 5-pin MIDI thing here, you have a utility output where I'm pretty sure you can either use this to control expression parameters with like analog pedals, or you can use a expression controller with it. I don't remember. And then a control out for expanding foot switches into it to have even more foot switches attached to this thing. Like, there's a lot. There's a lot that it does, and I'm not smart enough to have my head fully wrapped around MIDI, which Rick learned as I was setting this up, and I had to emergency call him. Like, Rick, I can't figure this out. I'm not smart like you. I know that you're smart enough, though. You can do it. All right, on to the Cosmonaut version 2. Now, I'll take a moment explaining this. This is another double pedal here, kind of like the Broker, but kind of different. Come on, Velcro, you're too strong. Or I'm too weak. Need to eat some more protein or something. All right, so you've got 2 side switches here, which allow you to designate what you want the different pedals to be, because you've got one here, and 2 banks of controls. You've got 2 different reverbs starting out on these switches. We'll switch to the other reverb. So yeah, you can have 2 different voices of reverb, or you could even take the same reverb and have completely different settings for it. You can do what I pretty much consider to be the main function of this pedal for me. The last setting on these 2 switches is a delay. You already got a taste of this, the weird stuff that I like to do with delay pedals with the Surgeon. Yeah, this can be 2 reverbs, or it could be a reverb and a delay. But I like it to be 2 delays with 2 different times. And when you press this button, it ramps between the 2 different times, and 2 different settings as far as the repeats go as well. So let's max out this one and do a short time. Yeah. You can do more subtle things with it. everything to be so musical, so exciting, and very annoying to the rest of your band. I drop some of that stuff into the mix sometimes, and it gets an eyebrow like, oh, that's fun. But it also comes with like that, don't do it again. Not too much of that. And then last is the Traveler. There's the shimmer setting. A fairly simple, easy to wrap your head around reverb. That's been the shimmer. I'll do the mod next. There's mix, there's modify, and then feedback control here. The Traveler goes super heavy on the mix. Like noon on the mix is like fully saturated on any other reverb. Back to the shimmer. Just go for it. that was for me. That was me having my own fun here. Experimenting and getting silly with a pedal board that I've sat here for about a day and a half, getting to know and, you know, dialing in the MIDI and stuff like that. There's one more setting on the Traveler, which is the vintage setting, which is kind of a more traditional spring reverb adjacent sound. Oh, the delay's on. Trying to milk more static out of it. So there you have it. Now the real question. How the heck are you gonna win it? How are you gonna snatch this out of my loving hands after I've spent all this time learning this board, getting to know this board, becoming familiar with this board intimately, even making presets that I'll never see again because they're stored on the Surgeon. And I'm just gonna give it away to you. How are you gonna get it? Well, we are gonna do a crowdsourcing guitar ads for the podcast contest. Did you know that Sweetwater has their own like used website called the Gear Exchange? Did you know that if you sell through the Gear Exchange, you can completely skip all the fees normally associated with selling things online with other, you know, online resale sites? You can completely just skip all those fees. You don't have to pay them if you convert your earnings into Sweetwater credit. So, say you've got a bunch of old stuff and you want to turn it into new stuff, it's a really smart thing to check out, which is why I decided. Sweetwater didn't tell me to do this. They didn't tell me how to give this away. I cooked up this idea. It's been something I've been wanting to experiment with for a while, seeing if people can do this. I want you to go to the Gear Exchange, to Sweetwater's Gear Exchange, and I want you to find just the craziest ads you can find, the silliest, the most interesting vintage stuff, anything that you think Steve and I would want to talk about on the podcast. And I have some date notes here so I wouldn't forget. We are going to record the episode where we might use your ad, where you might become the winner. We are going to record that episode on May 31st. So that is the deadline. Get stuff in morning of May 31st. Or before then, if you want to enter to win this pedal board. And then we are going to air that episode on June 6th. So this is going to go fairly quick here. You've got less than a week or about a week to get some ads in. Go over to the Sweetwater Gear Exchange. I'll have a link down in the description. Find something interesting, anything interesting, and then email it to us at 60cyclehumcast@gmail.com. And if we pick your ad, we're only going to pick one from the Gear Exchange. If we pick your ad, it's yours, baby. You won it. You won some good Matthews Effects pedals with a great power supply, with a really cool pedal board underneath, and all the patch cables and everything included. I can't wait to give this to one of you. I love doing giveaways like this. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude and nasty comments. Support us on Patreon. Thanks Sweetwater by clicking the links down below to these pedals. And you know what? Stay grounded. Bye everybody.